Grüezi miteinander und alle zusammen. Hello and welcome. Today I want to actually go through the brand new Serum 2 plugin, which I just downloaded from Xfair, and I thought, why not taking you guys on a journey with me to explore the new features of Serum 2, which we all have been waiting for quite some time. So I'm very excited to do this with you guys. And to celebrate this very special occasion, we thought actually to put our Cerberus 1000 preset pack on sale for only $99. So go to soundsfat.com, grab your Cerberus 1000 preset pack now for the lowest price ever. And we are not planning actually to have it on that low of a sale ever again. So we are just offering this as a special offer now throughout the time of the intro sale of Serum 2. So as long as Serum 2 is on intro sale on xfair.com, which I believe is somewhere around beginning of June, we are also offering our Cerberus 1000 preset pack for only $99. The preset pack that actually includes over 1,200 presets. And on top of that, we are offering for free to everybody who buys the Cerberus 1000 pack now throughout this period of sale going on. We are offering an extra 900 plus presets for Serum, but for Serum 1 that are previously unreleased, and we are also not planning on commercially releasing them, which actually are from old sounds that I had back in the 90s and the early 2000s when we still used hardware samplers. And I basically retrieved them from my old floppy disks, imported them into Serum, treated them with all sorts of envelope shaping to make them sound modern again, and used Serum as my dedicated sampler. So we are giving this away for free to everybody who buys the Cerberus 1000 library in the time of the sale that is going on now. But that enough talking now. We want to actually dive into Serum 2, which I believe just came out a few days ago. I'm very excited. So on the first glance, I see that we are having three different oscillator options. That we are still having our regular sub option, that we're having the noise option, that we are having now, two filters. That's great. That's a game changer. That's something that I was really missing in Serum 1 because I wanted to treat different parts of my layer differently, especially when it comes to filtering. So sometimes I was really missing that because I could just basically filter whether the full layer or just one part of the layer, but I could not treat another layer with a different filter. So now that's possible. So we're having now two filters that we can apply across our layers. That's cool, very useful. And then let's see here, wavetables. We're having multi-sample option now. We're having a sample option that is not through the noise anymore. I see granular and spectral. Okay, multi-sample, that's something that can be of interest for me because as I said before, I already used Serum as my dedicated sampler in a very primitive way though, but I used Serum as my dedicated sampler for one-shot samples because I really think that Serum offers the best envelope shaping options, especially with the extra LFO options, the different envelope options that I can apply. So now that we are able to import multi-samples, and I want to know actually to what degree we can use multi-samples now. That's going to be interesting. So let's figure that out. Okay, we're loading here SFZ files. So it's not as easy as just importing WAV files. We have to create SFZ files, which I believe I know how to. But then also I need to figure out how I actually bundle them and to what degree I have to pre-prepare them or to what degree I will be able to actually treat them within Serum. I see there's a factory batch of presets coming with Serum 2. Let's just load in a piano. Okay. Okay, cool thing is that it allows us to import several dynamic layers as well as different samples per dynamic layer. That's very important. A question is how many dynamic layer it's going to allow to import, but like logically it would allow definitely enough or more than just 3 as we have here. And as more dynamic layers you're able to import, and the more detailed you could actually also treat them within Serum, the more Serum is going to become a competitor for all these sampler hosts like Contact, like the sampler of Logic. I'm pretty sure Appleton also has its dedicated sampler. And with all these other features that I now on the first glance see that Serum 2 has, and we're going to figure out some more, I'm pretty sure, this is going to be much more powerful than all these hosts like Contact or UV and whatnot, because you can actually layer them and combine them with different sources of sounds. Like you could combine a wavetable with a multi-sample, with a granular, with I think what was the other thing here, spectral option, and all this, and we're getting to this granular and spectral options. If you're familiar with granular and spectral, creating sounds, you know how powerful they are for sound design, for pads, for ambient sounds and stuff. So all these combined can really create unique new sounds. So very powerful here. And as I understand here, okay, we could even import 3 different multi-sample sets here. Okay, how is the noise thing behaving? Okay, we're also having a set of new noises here, but it looks like, okay, we could load a sample, but since we are having this now here, and I understand by looking at this piano here, let's take the noise off. Ah, that's cool. You can apply some unison and create this very rich, very like futuristic kind of sounds out of very organic sounds. Nice. Uh-huh. Okay. I see. Cool, cool, cool. Then we're having here a warps. So, okay, filter. Oh, we could even... That's cool. So you're already able to kind of treat your sound, the whole FM, PDAM, RM, okay. Yeah, so you're already able to treat your sound here before you actually going into the FX rack. Nice. Okay, so understood the multi-sample. I need to figure out to what degree and how I'm actually able to import my own samples, how easy it will be or how complicated it will be to treat them to make also like this realistic and organic kind of sounds, and how accurately I can program them within Serum. But that's definitely a game changer for me. Only the fact that you can import more than one sample. Up until now, I was able to just import one sample, and I basically had to then spread it out through across the keyboard. And if you would go 1 or 2 octaves up or down, you would have like this typical chipmunk sounds if you would go up, and this very rumbling, distorted sounds in the lower ranges. So now that we are able to work with multi samples, that's going to be much more accurately, that we're going to be much more able to recreate certain sounds or give you certain sounds that we created with another plugin, but basically import them into Serum and combine them with all these great new features and all these great new sounds from Serum 2. So yeah, absolutely amazing. Okay, let's see now. Here we have different options. We have a different mixer tab here. Okay, where it looks like we can just bus one. Is this a send effect? Send signal to auxiliary. Okay. Here are the buses, and what can we do here? Is this on the effects? Effects also looks a little different. Oh. Oh wow. Okay. So we're getting a convolution verb now. That's cool. That's definitely... Give me something a little more inspiring. Figure out the granular stuff. Okay. And with convolution reverbs, we are able now to import our own convolution signals. So we can import our room reverb sounds or our whatever favorite sounds and use them as the reverb signal to trigger the actual reverb. That's very powerful because it allows endless options how to create and how to have our reverb sound like. Before it was very limited. We had, I think, the plate and the reverb option, and then we could alter the decay and the length, and we could mess around a little bit with the low end and the high end and the damp, and that was it. But now we are having all these options here. That's very powerful. And as I saw here, we're still having the regular reverb here that they used to have before. As I understand, that's more or less the same, but we're having a low and high cut play. Oh, okay. And vintage and nitrous and basin option. Whatever these are going to do, I'm definitely going to figure out. But yeah, it's definitely much more options on the reverb side, which up until now was really something that I was like, okay, it's cool for showcasing a preset and how you have it in mind when you created the preset. But in my opinion, when I used a preset from Serum, I usually would take off the reverb and add in my reverb of choice from a third party. This might not be necessary anymore with these options. So definitely a cool thing here. And I understand now, because we were before on the mix page, that I can here create a different channel strip for the bosses, and then I can apply them through send to each and every layer in my layer chain, in my oscillator layer chain. That's pretty cool, and it's also pretty useful. And okay, I understand here that I can also save certain channel strips, and I already get certain channel strips. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. And it's very powerful. So you were able to, on one hand, save our favorite channel strips, so we can easily just recall them when needed, and having a certain system for our favorite channel strips. And we are also getting a batch of channel strips by default. That's cool. That also allows us much more detailed mixing. Because we can basically work with these buses. We can send certain layers to certain buses, have them filtered again. So we're not just having two filters here on the oscillator page, we're also having more optional filter options here, which we could apply here on our bus chains and stuff. And yeah, that's very powerful. And that will definitely change how sounds within Serum are going to be shaped in future. That's cool. To filter. So can we add in more than one instance of the same? That would be interesting for the, let me also check the equalizer. That's something I use. The equalizer seems to be more or less the same what it used to be, like this two-band equalizer that helped us or me shape basic things within a sound. But can we add a second one in? Oh wow, that's cool. And a third one, and so on. That's cool. So we can actually make a two-band equalizer becoming whatever band equalizer we want, and we can much more detailed mix our sounds, especially when we want to mix resonances and stuff, which was not really possible in Serum 1, because you just had this one instance of an equalizer, and basically you had to make it work with that. But with this option now, I'm able also to create the sound exactly as I have it in mind. Like, I give you the sound, how it's gonna sound in my track, or how I would like to have it sound when I want to find the sound, the right sound for my track. So that's definitely a game changer too. Very cool, very cool. Matrix. I think here I need to dive in a little bit deeper later to figure out if there is something new or if it's more or less the same. Global also gets a different detune. Oh, okay. So I could. Let's put them back to 0. But that's definitely interesting for the detune option. Like, you could make this sound a little bit more analog, if you will, right? I think Devo has this kind of feature as well. So basically, these 8 voices are going to slightly alter the pitch of the detune the way you have it set here. That's very, very useful too. So if you want to have this vintage sound of these analog sounds that are sometimes by default a little bit not very constant in pitch, so you can recreate this here as well. That's very, very beautiful, very cool. And I hope this actually is something that you can basically set in preset, and that this is not your overall setting, because then you can apply this to certain presets and to certain not, however you want it. That's cool. What's here? Factory. Okay. Okay, very cool. I mean, the fact that this is a free update for everybody who owns Serum 1, that's very generous. So thank you, Steve, for giving this free update to all of us. That's definitely something that will occupy me in the next few days, weeks to come. And I will definitely looking forward to create a batch of new presets for Serum 2 as well. What else is new? So yeah, we wanted to check out the granular option, huh? And the spectral option. Okay, so I already loaded the granular sound here. We can mess around. Delay. Wow, imagine all this sound design guys, this underscore creators, the Hollywood guys, the techno guys. I would also assume for them this is heaven. So you're able actually to, and I just randomly now got lost into cranking some knobs up and down, and I think this here allows you really to come up with sounds that we have not heard before, which is also something that leads me to believe that the future will definitely sound Serum 2, in my opinion, because that's a technology, and that's not the technology, but that options and these features and the way they are combined and set up is definitely allowing the music producer of the future create his or her sounds differently. Which means if we're going in the past, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s, if you're going through the evolution of synthesizers and how they their features were allowing to shape sounds and music differently, and how it actually evolved the sound of the modern pop and electronic music, where is always going along, right? So a very good example for example is mid 90s and 90s, when Roland introduced the JP 8000 and the super saw function. Immediately the trance music picked that function and that technology up, created something unique, and created a genre, created a complete lifestyle, even shaped the culture as we know it, right? And this typical super saw sound became the sound of that time. but it only became the sound of that time because technology allowed sound and music to go in that direction. And I think the same is now here with Serum 2. So we're having all these new features, all these new options that we didn't have before, or at least not in a very affordable and very intuitive environment as the Serum is again, also in Serum 2. So it will obviously lead to, and I'm pretty sure it will lead to, people taking this option in their advantage and create something that is new that we did not hear before. And yeah, I'm very looking forward. The future sounds Serum 2. And I'm very happy and very excited to try it out myself and mess around it myself. When I look at it now as well, I see these 8 macros instead of 4 macros we had before. And also that is very powerful, because think of all the options that we are having now with these extra features. They also somehow need to be channeled somewhere where we can easily automate them. And having 4 extra macros is definitely a very helping tool for us to mess around with all these automations and having things assigned to one knob, and help us get to how we want to sound within a short amount of time, and not losing too much time in creating all these automations manually in the DAW. So also that very useful. Something that I saw this morning when I heard that Serum is out, Serum 2 is out, is that it now allows the function to import MIDI files. So you can drag and drop. I did not figure out just how. I have to read into this as well, but it is possible to import full songs, MIDI songs if you want, to have Serum play them back in whatever order you want them to play it back, or just loop them somewhere and stuff, or alter them, which is very useful in creating arpeggios, very useful in creating certain licks that are maybe not conventionally creatable. And before we had to create these arpeggios very complex with using LFO and LFO pitches and stuff. Now with this MIDI option that I also have to look into, you can really create very advanced arpeggio lines and stuff. So I'm looking forward to this too. So it also becomes a sequencer in some way. And I also heard that it is able to automate certain things. So you could play a certain melody lick, and then, for example, just have the reverb slightly coming in towards the end of your lick, or the delay, or having the distortion assigned in a certain way. All these things should now be possible, which is also, again, something that can help us shaping and making these sounds sound in a way that we haven't been able to do before, or at least not with Serum. And Serum is, as I understand it, the most used synthesizer when it comes to electronic music. It is loved by all sorts of producers, whether you are producing hip hop, as me producing more in the electronic kind of dance music direction, or also cinematic composers are loving this tool as well. And now I think for each and everybody of us, this is a major upgrade. And if you're familiar with the intuitive GUI before, you will love this one as well. It's pretty straightforward, it's simple, but still offers so much options. So yeah, I'm giving here an absolutely free commercial for Serum 2. I'm a big fan, even though I'm not getting paid in any way. I am not advertising this for any advantages. Not getting anything out of this. The only thing how you could support us is if you're heading over to soundsfed.com, check out our presets that we have for Serum 1 actually. We are having them now on sale as long as Serum 2 is on intro sale. We are also offering the Cerberus 1000 Serum pack for only $99 at soundsfat.com. Plus, on top of that, we are adding 900 plus previously unreleased and brand new presets on top as a free gift. We are not planning actually to commercially release those, but you would get your hands on these very exclusive presets if you're buying our Cerberus 1000 now for only $99. And yeah, this is for me quite a game changer here. It's really, really a great tool, and I can't wait to hear what you guys come up with, these sounds and these options and these tools. I actually will dive right in and figure out all these other features, and I will most likely already going to create some presets already. So have fun, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you next time. Bye, guys. Thank you.